what happens when you have reached a stalemate, a standstill, a stopping point, a point beyond which you don't feel that you can go in a relationship with somebody? Maybe there's a disagreement or just a general feeling of, disconnection or dis-ease or just like not seeing eye to eye on something. How do you change that? This is a really big question, and there's an amazing tool that I would like to share with you today that will allow you to change that magically and miraculously. And it is a question that goes like this: would you rather be right, or would you rather be free? It's kind of an advanced tool. It requires us to have presence with ourselves, awareness of ourselves, and the willingness to shift our point of view and our perspective. It's our points of view and the way that we see the world, the opinions that we have, the conclusions that we have, the judgments that we have, that keep us stuck. They keep things in place. They keep us from having a different sense, a different experience, a different possibility in our relationships and our lives. And this is really kind of the central place where we start to destroy possibilities in our lives, is by having fixed points of view. And it kind of, for so many of us, it seems like, how on earth do you change a fixed point of view? What if it's just like, but this is just what I believe in. This is just me. This is just who I am. Well, what if it's not? What if you are more of an infinite being that doesn't really have points of view? What if you have lots of different awareness, different questions, different curiosities? What if you have a capacity and an ability to see things from so many different perspectives? One of the things we do is we take points of view and, opinions about things to give ourselves definition, like to start to define who we are so that we can know that we're right, we can know that we're good, we can know that we're correct, and we can know that we're not wrong. What if you could go beyond the need to be right and the need to not be wrong, or even the need to be wrong, which some people do as well, and into a different space and a different possibility that isn't as defined? So letting go of our opinions, our beliefs, our points of view, what we think is right, what we think is essential, is something that it definitely is a practice. It takes time and it takes some energy to put into it, and some presence with yourself, some diligence with your own mind. And yet what it yields is absolutely phenomenal. For me, what I've found is that as I become more, as I have more agility in changing my points of view, letting go of my points of view, my judgments, my conclusions, my opinions about things, really letting go of having any beliefs whatsoever, it gives me more access to me as a being, to the energies of any particular situation. And actually, it just gives me a lot more choice. I don't have to define myself based on my thoughts. I can expand my mind, I can expand my awareness, I can expand my space, I can look from a different perspective. And if you look from a different perspective, you see something different. Like right now, you see the tree behind me. If you look from this perspective, you see my patio, right? So it's like even just like you see, so many different things in my background as I change the perspective of the video. And that sounds so simplistic, but that really is how it works in life, is that we change our perspective and you see something completely different. You can then be the leader for change in your relationships. You can be somebody who is choosing a different possibility and choosing to get out of the need to be right, and instead having the freedom to choose, the freedom to move with energies, and the freedom to have a different sense of, what you could be with somebody, what you could allow somebody else to be with you. And what I found is there's so much magic in this. Like, if I let go of a point of view in a relationship, if I actively make a choice to be free instead of right, I make a choice to be free instead of trying to be right, I have so much freedom. It gives me so much more than any sort of rightness would give me. And what occurs is really super magical because our relationships just change. Things that we thought were important to us, they're not anymore. They just kind of go away. Like something that you might have thought was a huge deal, it can shift in a moment if you're willing to change your perspective. The other person doesn't have to change, but you have to get out of your need for them to change, your need for them to see something different, your need for them to change their point of view, and be the one who chooses that for you. It's a choice that gives you freedom for you. And then you start to show up differently in your relationships. And as you do, there is so much miraculous change that will surprise you. You can't do this in a way where you're sort of like hoping other people are going to change, because then you still have a point of view that they need to change. When you let go of that point of view, you get into allowance of who they are and what they are, and you're willing to choose the freedom that is always there and available to you as a choice, then your point of view changes, your perspective changes, how you see people, how you see things changes. And those things, those people, those relationships, those situations change. It doesn't even take two people to change anything. It takes you making a different choice to be free from judgment, free from points of view, free from conclusions. It's a practice. It's something that I play with every day. And it comes from for me, living the tools from the Access Consciousness Foundation class that really give us this deep sense of connection to ourselves as beings and the freedom to move in our lives or in our relationships with our bodies and our businesses, everything that we create and our families without a point of view. There is so much freedom there. And it's a universe to be explored and explored more and chosen more forever. Like there's no arrival. There's just, wow, there's even more possibility. There's even more freedom. There's even more possibility. There's even more freedom. And what I found is it's been such a gift to me to choose that. And it's created so much in my relationships and in every area of my life. It's amazing. I'm going to be doing an Access Consciousness Foundation class here in this beautiful place in Boulder, Colorado, starting in mid-August. I believe it's the 14th, but I never remember the exact dates. But you can look on my website, heathernichols.com/events. And the Access Bars is also a prerequisite for that, and I'll be doing one of those classes on the 9th of August. I do remember that date for some reason. And you are invited to come and play. Even if you've taken the foundation class a million times, I find that every time I take it, every time I facilitate it, I deepen into something very different for me, and my whole life and my whole future changes. We're going to be playing with Rocky Mountain's summertime amazingness. There's going to be a lot of extra fun stuff, trips to the farmer's market, plunging in the Boulder Creek. There's a hiking trail right there, so we're going to be going on some hikes, having some delicious food together, having some movement and body explorations. It's going to be an epic summertime extravaganza, and you are invited.